Good evening. My name is Ben Mendez. I'm your host for Latino Talk TV. Thank you for joining us today. We have a very special guest all the way from Austin, Texas. His name is Sam Guzman. He's the president or chairman of TAMAC, which is the Texas Association of Mexican-American Chambers of Commerce. Sam, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
So we're going to talk a little bit about politics, but we're also going to talk about the U.S. Chamber. They're in town. The U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce will be here for a couple days, and so we're looking forward to their events. But first, let's talk some issues going on in the political races. As you know, we have a very exciting presidential race going on. And it seems as though Donald Trump continues to be in the lead as far as the Republican Party is concerned. Now, what are your thoughts on Mr. Trump?
Actually, he's lost some ground. He's lost some ground, and actually the reason is his own party is coming after him because he's hurting the party essentially because of the way he carries on. You said, what's my opinion of him? Oh, not very good. Particularly with the treatment and the comments, the derogatory, insulting comments that he has made about Latinos and Hispanics. I mean, they border, well, actually, they're racist.
They're racist,
Yeah.
bottom line. Now, I found it kind of interesting that our candidate, Mr. Walker, actually resigned today from the presidential race.
That's right.
And one of the comments that he made was that we need to go against Trump.
That's what he said.
Yeah, so he wants the party to unite against Trump. Now, what kind of a message is that?
Well, again, they feel that he's destroying and the Republican Party and driving it into the ground to where whoever gets the nomination is going to have an uphill battle. They're going to have an uphill battle, hopefully, anyway. Not partisan. They're going to have an uphill battle anyway, but especially with the way Trump is bringing the party down. Yeah.
I found it kind of interesting because during the debate, the last debate, the target was Donald Trump. Obviously, he was the main focus for everybody. He was consistently being bombarded by questions, attacks, et cetera, by the other candidates. Now, whether that played a role in his numbers declining, I'm sure it did. And as you know, Marco Rubio did very well in this presidential debate. He moved up to number 4 according to the polls. Now, it's kind of interesting that Ted Cruz didn't move up. He pretty much stayed the same. I think it's going to be a battle all the way to the end. I don't think there's a clear front runner. I don't care what the polls say today. I don't think there's a clear
It's too early. It's too early. They're bound to change, particularly with, the candidates are starting to focus on the issues. Trump doesn't know the issues. He'll say, if they ask him, well, what are you going to do about that? He say, well, I'm going to fix it. I'm going to fix it. Management, and so that's his answer for everything.
His answer is that everything that he did with his businesses, he's going to do for, according to his comments, is the president. It needs to have some sense related to business in order to be productive in that position now. I will tell you that, and just listening to his comments, I find his answers very vague.
Well, very vague and very shallow. He really doesn't have a plan for anything. He just says, hey, I'm going to do it. I'm good. People love me. I love them. And, he thinks everybody loves him.
Everybody loves Trump, right?
So, according to him.
So let's talk about the other side, the Democrats. Okay. Now, Hillary Clinton obviously is the front runner.
Correct.
Now, if Hillary were to run against Donald Trump, I will tell you Hillary would win easily.
I think so, because she's well prepared. I mean, she's got the experience, and she is she's not there to run down people and to run down, for that matter, society. She's there to be a president for everybody, and for I'm not making a partisan speech for her. Just from what I can see, my observations of the way she conducts herself.
Yeah, can you imagine having two women, the Republican Party and the Democratic Party?
That would be interesting.
That would be very interesting.
Yes. Yeah.
I would like to see that.
Well, the Republican candidate came up to number 2 after the debate.
Yeah. I actually would like to see that. I think it's time for a female president.
I agree.
Yeah. I also think it's time for a Latino president, for that matter.
I agree even more so with that.
Yeah, so it would be nice, or even as a vice president. I'll be content with a vice presidency.
Well, there's some good vice president material out there. Very good.
Yeah, as you know, Julian Castro has been. His name has been out there as a perhaps a Hillary Clinton partner.
That would be a good ticket.
Yeah, that would be a good ticket, exactly.
Yeah.
But on the other side, the Republican Party also talking about Marco Rubio being on the ticket.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah, now his views are a little different than at least a lot of the people that I hang out with him. But
But
he is sharp.
politics makes strange bedfellows.
That's correct.
One day you're enemy, one day you're friends, one day who knows what you are, right?
And to me, it doesn't matter as long as they have the right platform, the right agenda for the country, and then of course in this case for Latinos and Latino business in particular.
And so, when do you all have elections in Austin, Texas? The local elections.
The local elections are in November.
November? Mm-hmm. Okay, so you have a mayor's race coming up?
No, he just got elected.
Okay, who's the mayor over there?
You would ask me that.
You forgot his name.
I forgot his name. Is that important? Yeah, I forgot.
Okay, and so I'm assuming council has some representation in the Hispanic community?
Actually, they went to a 10 member district.
Okay.
And they just passed it just recently. Austin for a long time
was at large.
Was at large.
Yeah.
Here was the most progressive city in the state, and yet it was at large.
So who are the Hispanic council members?
We have 3: Reyes, Renteria, and Casar.
Okay. So we do have representation.
Oh yes.
Houston, Texas, we have 17 council members. We have 2 Latino.
My Lord. Yeah.
Isn't that something?
That is something. And you have a good population.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on who you ask, right?
Yeah.
Some people say 50%. Some people say 40%. Depends on who you ask. Now, as far as registered voters, we're a lot less, obviously. But I will tell you, 2 out of 17 is not sufficient.
No. Yes, it's obvious.
We don't have a single commissioner that's Latino. We don't have a single congressperson.
What's going on?
That's Latino. Exactly what is going on. But I tell you what, I am very, very excited about the mayor's race here in Houston.
Okay.
We have Adrian Garcia running against Sylvester Turner, Ben Hall, Chris Bell, Bill King, and Mr. McVeigh. So we have quite a few people running for the mayor's race, but Adrian is number 1 right now.
Really? He's well known.
Well known, former sheriff.
Well, actually, on a statewide basis, I mean, people in Austin know him.
Yeah, he's well known. Keep in mind that he was the first Harris County sheriff that was Latino here in Harris County.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, he gave up his seat to run for mayor.
He must have done a very good job as sheriff.
Well, obviously, he was reelected.
Yes.
He was the highest vote getter in the county.
Correct.
During his time that he ran. He actually twice. When Obama ran the first time, he was on the ticket. He was the highest vote getter. And then a couple years ago, he ran again and was the highest vote getter. So twice. So what that tells me is he's able to cross party lines.
Right.
People in the Republican Party and Democratic Party support him, which is needed in this mayor's race.
Good.
As you know, coalitions win races.
That's correct.
Yeah. And he definitely has coalitions.
Well, he did a good job when he was a sheriff.
Yeah.
So it transferred over.
And you are no stranger to politics. You were a board member there at Austin ISD.
I served 2 terms.
Yeah, 2 terms. Is it 2 years apiece or?
No, 4 years.
4-year terms.
Yes.
So 2 4-year terms, right?
Yes.
It's 8 years total.
That's correct.
Okay. And so what did you learn from that experience?
It's difficult to be a school board member because that touches very close to families. It's the education of the children, and obviously, even though they say parents or people say Hispanic parents don't get involved, don't get engaged, and there needs to be more parental engagement. That's not really true. They may not come to the meetings, okay? But when I was at HEB, and I represent the Hispanic part of the community. When I was at HEB or when I was eating at a restaurant, they came up to me, and they voiced their concerns. They may not have gone to the meetings, but they knew who I was, and I was receptive to their concerns, so they came up to me. You said the question was, what was the hardest part? The time element. For me, it was a time element. We had to spend a lot of time doing what we did, and of course, not that I would lobby for school board members being paid, but they spend a lot of time in that job, and it's a difficult job. The legislature doesn't give the school districts enough money to be able to educate the children to carry out a quality education system. They cut it, and then they continue to cut it, and then there's an onslaught of attempts to privatize a lot of our public education system, and that's also a major concern.
Interesting. Well, I will tell you that I did run for city council here. Interesting experience and getting to know the community.
Sure.
I mean, you really get to know the community when you're out running, because
Correct.
you're out at all the meetings, you meet people, you're shaking hands, you're kissing babies. And so you hear a lot of issues that are going on that you would not normally hear.
That's correct.
Yeah. So I have a lot of respect for anybody that's in public office. That's one job that takes a lot of your time from your family, not to mention your business. And by the way, what do you do for a living?
Do a couple of things. I work with well, first of all, and this job I like a lot, but I don't make a complete living out of it, but I'll do it because I love it. I work with the School Board Member Association, Mexican American School Board Member Association, MASBA. I do legislative work for them. I do policy work for them, and I spend a lot of time, wee hours of the morning, doing work for them. But I love the work, so I do it. And then I'm also do some work for the ERO Architects. It's a growing organization, and they call me, to help them with several projects here and there.
So you do government affairs or networking type?
Correct. Business development.
Business development.
That type.
Okay, good. So let's talk about why you're here.
I'm here.
We are here to talk about small businesses, specifically Hispanic businesses across the state of Texas. Now, Tamac represents 500,000 plus businesses here in Texas. That's a lot of businesses. And you are the voice of those small businesses. Now, was there any new things, developments because of the new leadership in the governor's office?
Well, the main thing that Tamac tries to do during the session is, as you know, because you were chairman yourself, we do a lot of legislative work, and the main thing we try to do is to keep bad bills from coming up and being
Affecting
passed.
small business.
Yes.
Yeah.
And promote good bills, So, but that affects not just Hispanic businesses. It affects the economy, and job creation, and all businesses.
So tell me, I know there was rumors out there for some time now that they wanted to get away from the HUB program. How true is that?
That's always, every legislative session, there's always an attempt to do that. And
There's always a nutcase out there.
Well, yes, and there's always an attempt to do that. I think the program is well entrenched enough that we can keep that from happening. The problem is that it doesn't work the way it's supposed to be working. And I'll tell you specifically what I mean. There aren't enough Hispanic businesses or minority businesses or underutilized businesses getting business from the state. They make an effort, and they go out and reach out and promote and so on. It's just not happening, and something has to be done to make it happen. Mm-hmm. Because you can have it in the books, and you can have people working it, but if it doesn't happen, if people don't get jobs from the state, then for what? So it's entrenched well enough. I mean, we have some real good champions, and I'll mention him because I think he's one of the champions of HUB, and that's Royce West out of Dallas.
I'll tell you what, Senator West from Dallas is a dear friend of mine, and I have the utmost respect for him. Even though he's not Latino, he's African-American senator.
That's right.
And he is a champion for small business all across the state of Texas.
That's correct.
Yeah, and he's actually reached out to Tamac on different occasions and bringing them to the table. Mm-hmm. As you know, if you're not invited to the dance, then you're not going to dance.
That's correct.
Yeah, so you need to be at the table to make those decisions.
That's correct.
And so I really appreciate the work he's done. But also, there's a couple other senators, some Latino senators that we work with on a regular basis. Senator Lucio from the Valley, he's been a champion as well, and I have the utmost respect for him as well. Mm-hmm. Let's talk a little bit about Tamac. I know that you guys had a convention recently. You became the chair.
That's correct.
So have you started your term already?
I started my term already.
Okay.
And actually, Ben, this is the third time I've been chairman of Tamac.
You just don't want to give it up then,
yeah,
huh?
And well, no, it's kind of like that. The story goes from in Godfather.
Okay.
When I'm trying to get out, they pull me back.
They pull you back in, huh?
But you know, it's good work. It's worthwhile. It needs to be done. And I was at their conference, and I wasn't there to run for anything. But I've stayed involved, as you know. You appointed me even when I wasn't on the board. You appointed me to
Government
vice chair,
affairs.
and vice chair for legislative.
Yeah.
When you were chairman. But it's a matter of the work needs to be done. It's important. It's of value to people. And so I went to the conference as a layperson, for that matter, and things developed, and I was nominated from the floor, and then people asked me would I accept, and I did, and I won. So.
Isn't that something? You go to a meeting not knowing that you were running for office.
Yeah.
And you come out of the meeting as the chairman of the board.
and it's a good title, but it also involves a lot of work.
Oh yeah, I know.
I don't need it for my resume because I've done it before and so on.
No, I would agree with that. I think if you do it for the right reasons.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. The only thing I will tell you is I don't have as much patience in terms of getting things done. I mean, we can do a lot of things, as the saying goes, you can do a lot of things and you can do them right, and you look good, you look efficient, right? But unless you do the right things, you're not effective. You don't have results. That's what I'd like to be about, doing the right things. And we may do 3 things or 5 things, but if we do them right, it'll have an impact. It'll have a result.
Sure.
And that's what I want to do, because I don't have as much patience as when I was younger.
So why don't you give us a little history? So when did you first get involved with the MAC?
Oh, man, that goes way back. I started when I was 15, as they say.
15 years old?
No. Of course, I'm kidding. I became the chairman in 88 through 90.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 years.
Okay.
And then I left. But I had been treasurer and first vice president and the like.
Okay.
In the organization, and so I've been involved with it for a long time.
Long time.
I think I've got the record. So it goes way back then, and then another conference I got elected again, and I've also been president CEO. So I've run it from the inside.
Sure.
As well.
You were staff as well as being on the board.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
No, I understand. I tell you, there's a lot of things that we need to do for our small businesses. Specifically, when it comes to contracts around the state of Texas, we don't get our fair share. As you know, we get the crumbs. We're at the bottom of the barrel. Those are the contracts that we get. And there's millions and millions of dollars every year that are given out as far as contracts for this and that, and we're not at the table.
That's correct.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate. And until we get the leadership that we need in the state of Texas, it's going to continue being that way.
Yeah.
The same thing with any other city. I mean, that's why I'm looking forward to Adrian being the mayor of City Houston, so that he can open the doors for small businesses. Regardless of what color you are, small businesses are the key to success in any economy.
That's correct.
Yeah. So let's talk about the U.S. Chamber. They're in town. They've been in town since yesterday.
Okay.
The U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce Convention is here in Houston, Texas, and they're going to be here till Wednesday. Now, tonight we have an event at 10 p.m. And where's the event going to be?
At the downtown club.
Downtown club,
Yes.
on 1100 Caroline Street, which is right downtown. You can't miss it. Close to the George R. Brown, 4 blocks from the George R. Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's open.
It's open to the public if you want to come on by. Now, don't misinterpret me. The U.S. Convention, the U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce Convention, is not a free event, but this particular event is free.
That's correct.
Yeah. But if you want to go to the convention, there's a registration fee. You can go online and still register.
We will ask people to register for this particular event.
Okay.
Starts at 9. We're going to have some entertainment. We're going to have,
DJ?
DJ. Yeah. Let me do a plug for Aviso.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
We wanted Aviso. Okay.
Aviso was going to perform tonight.
And I had talked to Robert and so on, and then I had to leave the assignment, and I gave it to somebody else, and they were supposed to call him, and we finally contacted him and said, we're not going to be able to have you. We didn't, everything is done through funding and so on and so forth. We didn't raise the funds to get it, even though he gave us a real good rate. So, Aviso, thank you. Robert, thank you.
Yeah, and Robert's always a good friend of ours that comes through when necessary. There's all kinds of events here in Houston, and he's involved with a lot of bands. Little Joe comes to play, they use Aviso.
I was looking forward to taking Tejano music. See, we have people from throughout the nation. New York, Miami, California, and so on, Chicago. And so one of the things they said, hey, can we get some salsa and merengue? I said, look, you're going to Texas, you're going to get a lot of Tejano. I said, so
They probably don't even know what Tejano music is, do they?
possibly not, but you know what? Once they listen to it, they like it.
Okay. Yeah, the New Yorkers are in town, by the way.
Yeah.
So New Yorkers, they like other types of music. Salsa,
Salsa,
merengue,
merengue, bachata.
bachata, exactly. But Tejano is not in their repertoire.
But when they hear it, they like it.
Okay.
It's got a lot of souls. Yeah.
That's it. That's it. So let's talk about one other issue before we go to our next guest.
Sure.
Now, you know better than I do that the Black-Brown Coalition, even in the chamber world, there's some challenges there. So we're trying to work together, trying to get the African-American community and the Hispanic community on the same page, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know we made some progress over the years where we're actually working together. We've had receptions together, actually the legislative reception together,
Mm-hmm.
and a couple other events. Now, what do you see in the future for that?
Hope.
Hope?
Yes, I see. I'm hopeful that because imagine this: if we could come together as a coalition and agree, maybe not agree on everything, but agree on many things that are important to both of us. Imagine the power and the influence and the ability to get things done, and not just at the legislature, but in the local communities, politics, and other things as well. It's a challenge, but it's such a good challenge, and hopefully we can attain it here in the near future. We have a lot of friends. You have a lot of friends, African American community. I do. I mean, as we mentioned, one of our champions, even though he's African American,
Senator
West, again, and so why not? I mean, it's a natural, you know. They've had their struggles with regard to civil rights and so on. We've had ours. And they're the same, you know. We have the same goals. It's a matter of bringing our community up, and making it better overall, quality of life, jobs, and we have the same ambitions. Our children have the same ambitions, you know, and so it's a natural. We just need to somehow get it done. Now, I personally feel that there's elements that try to keep us apart, you know, for obvious reasons. Because if we come together, we will be a force to contend with.
Absolutely. So are you a big fan of mixed martial arts?
Absolutely.
Are you ready to watch some fighting?
As long as they don't hit me.
As long as you are not part of it, right?
As long as they don't hit me.
When we come back, we're going to have two guests that are mixed martial artists, and they're professionals, and we look forward to talking to them. So join us 2 minutes. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Latino Talk TV. I'm your host, Ben Mendez. And now we're going to talk about MMA fighting, right?
Yes, sir.
Mixed
Sir.
martial arts.
Sir.
Now, you said you wanted to fight a little bit, right? So I have the
No.
perfect person for you to fight.
You. Fight you, but not them.
So we have the Reaper and Mr. Cheeks in the house. I'll tell you what, I don't know about you, but I would not want to be in the ring with you all, okay? Now, it's obviously a lot of work on your part, a lot of stuff that goes on. So let's talk a little bit about the history, how you got involved, and then we'll go into what your last fight was all about. Now, are you all pretty much training together, both of you?
Sir. Yes, sir. Teammates.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So Jason is his real name, by the way. Jason, tell us a little bit about how you even got started.
I've always had an interest in the sport. I just, like your typical fan, I'd watch it, go with my brother and my wife. We'd always go watch the fights. And my brother actually had a football injury. He was almost paralyzed. So that was kind of our thing. I was going to watch the fights. And he just always, I don't know, he just always had it in his head that he thought I could do it. And I'd go to my mom's when he was, you know, kind of bedridden, try to keep him in good spirits and play video games and stuff like that. But he'd always just say, I think you can still do it. I think you can fight. And I prayed on it. I said, if he heals up, I'll give it a try. And that's what happened.
So all of a sudden you became a fighter, huh?
Yes, sir.
Just like that.
Yes,
And
sir.
Charles, how'd you start?
I started out wrestling in high school. I went to Bel Air, and they didn't have a wrestling team when I was there, and my coach brought me over and was like, "Hey, you're super physical. You'll be good at wrestling." I was like, "Man, I play football, you know. So, but I went over and tried it out, and I was like, yeah, I can do this. Pick people up and slam them. That's perfect. But I wrestled all through high school, and then I did 1 year in college, and was getting too small from wrestling and cutting weight. So I just stuck with football. And when I finished, I was like, you know what, I want to get back into wrestling, but there's really not much going on. I was like, I got into a few fights growing up, so let me try my hand at MMA. So I started karate, got my black belt in that, and then moved into MMA.
So you said you were in college. You were wrestling at college, or
Yep. I was
or
there
during
for
college?
I was there for a football scholarship, but
Okay.
I wrestled my first year.
And where did he play football?
University of Marion, North Dakota, Division II school. Yeah,
Okay.
super cold.
Super cool.
Super cold.
What was your style in karate that you got the black belt?
Kempo karate.
Good
Yes,
style.
sir.
Yeah. And your style?
Basketball. I don't have a background in fighting. I just I played basketball in college. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So which school did you play?
Cumberland University out in Tennessee,
Okay.
Lebanon, Tennessee.
Okay.
Yes, sir. We're about 30 minutes from Nashville, small town.
Okay. But you're from Houston originally, right?
Originally, I'm from the Virgin Islands.
No way.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm from the Virgin Islands, but we moved to the States when I was 4.
By the way, Jason, when his child was on my soccer team, I was a coach for soccer. So my daughter and his daughter actually played together.
Yes, sir.
Ask him again what that shirt means, because
So we have Metro Fight Club, and then you have Joanne Jurado. So
Well,
tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, yes, sir. It's just one of my fight shirts that I put together, and just in honor of my friend that passed away, I want to put her name on there
And what's your name?
Joanne Gerardo.
And Joanne was a
friend of mine that I grew up with through high school.
Not a
Close
fighter?
friends.
Okay.
No. Close friend. Close
okay.
friend. Yes, sir.
Good deal. And I noticed Mr. Cheeks had a little thing going on there.
Yeah.
Now, is that your official shirt that you wear?
Yeah, this is my official shirt. My cousin does graphic designs, logos, and everything. So I wanted to incorporate, my name along with the profession that I do. So there's a little MMA glove at the bottom, along with my faith as well. So kind of just came up with this logo, and this is what I go by.
Well, they call me Cheeks too, but because I'm fat,
They call me Double Cheek.
they call you Double Cheeks. So now let's talk a little bit about your actual professional start. Now, you recently started
Yes,
as
sir.
a professional.
Yes, sir.
And how many fights have you had?
2.
Okay. So your first fight was?
My first fight was at 164, and
What day? What month? Or when was it?
I don't know off
Like
top.
a year
That's
ago?
bad. No, not a year. Maybe 7-8 months, somewhere
Okay.
around there. Yes, sir.
And how did you do?
I won first round in 25 seconds.
Oh, wow.
Yes, sir.
Submission
quick.
or knockout?
TKO. Yes, sir.
Wow. A kick?
Yeah, the kick, I guess, hurt him, and I just jumped in there and finished him with strikes, punches.
Wow. Pretty quick. 25 seconds?
Yeah.
I can do 25 seconds.
You can get knocked out in 25.
I can get knocked down in 25 seconds. How about you? How many fights have you had?
I'm going on 14 now.
Okay, so your
14.
first fight was more or less when?
My first fight was probably 2010.
Okay.
I had my first amateur, and then my first pro was probably 2011.
And how did it go?
It was horrible. I had a horrible start. I started out, like 2021, and was real eager to get going. So I had some training camp problems, and I was changing gyms. So I took my first fight at like 185, which is like way above my weight. So that was my first pro fight. So to make that weight class, you had to be at least 180 and up. And I was only like 77, so I had to weigh in with socks, sweats, shirt, everything just to break 180. But I ended up losing by decision, and from there I kind of learned how to train and do a little better. But yeah, my very first one was.
So you were in the
bad
school of hard
experience.
knocks, basically. You had to learn.
Yeah.
No, I understand that. I think all of us go through that, right? We have to learn, take our bumps and bruises.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
grew up in the barrio.
Yeah. So then, how many fights have you won since then?
I'm 9-4 now professionally.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you've come back, so to speak.
Yeah, definitely. up in North Dakota, there's not much for the amateur circuit, so I had 2 amateur fights, and like I said, jumped right into pro. So the experience you get from those amateur fights, I didn't really get a chance to. So I kind of learned as I went with my pro career, and it's been, there's a couple fights that I wish I wouldn't have taken, or would have gone completely different if I was training the right way. But like I said, you live and you learn. So I'm on a good track now and ready for number 10.
That's great.
Yes, sir.
So
Ben, I watch these guys all the time. Not these particular guys, but I'm looking forward to it. But explain what MMA and UFC is. They're 2 different categories, right?
The magic question.
Yeah, a lot of people usually tell you, do you UFC? Well, MMA is just mixed martial arts. UFC is the top MMA promotion in the world. So majority of guys like ourselves strive. That's
where you're
the top.
That's the
the
Super
top.
Bowl.
Yeah, that's what you strive to get to is the UFC.
I got you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And so I know Houston is a growing market for MMA because I see the fights quite a bit now. Before, you never heard of the fights.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so now you even see them in the Toyota Center.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have big fights in order to be the Toyota Center.
Yes, sir.
So you guys have been in the Arena Theater for pretty much all your fights, or you've been other places?
I've been other places, the Arena Theater, Humble Civic Center out here in Houston, and then I got a chance to fight out in Albuquerque. That was fun. So,
Is it a big ring or
yeah, it was pretty big.
big
yeah.
facility? Okay. Yeah, because when I went to the Arena Theater, I actually enjoyed it because you feel like you're up close and personal.
Yeah.
You can actually hear the hits.
Yeah, it's not a bad seat in
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Anywhere you sit, you're around, so you're pretty much right there.
Yeah, right in the center.
Yeah, so no, it was good. The only thing that I would do differently if I were them is the lighting isn't all that great there. And when y'all are coming in, to, I guess, the arena, into the diamond, is that what you call it?
The Octagon.
Yeah, the octagon.
Yes, sir.
The lighting is terrible.
Yeah, I'll talk to Legacy about that one.
Yeah. So when, they do all the flash and all that.
Yes, sir.
And I don't know if there's something you can do about that, but from afar you can't really see the fight.
Yes, sir.
The guy come in, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. I mean, there's still a growing promotion. They're actually, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, probably like the 3rd largest. But as far as regional and Houston, they're pretty much the organization that you want to fight for. So Legacy Fighting Championships, that's pretty much where I've had all my fights with them.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And
How do you absorb the pain? How do you deal with the pain?
Adrenaline.
That's
That's about it. Yeah, you get. I mean, the sparring, the practice, kind of builds you up to it, but it's nothing. It's nothing compared to actually being in there and having to take some real shots. But I mean, it's nothing you can really, I guess, get used to, or
Yeah, it's preparation, I guess.
yeah.
With the training, like a lot of people would say that the training is harder than the actual fight.
Yeah.
And we spar against each other all the time, and the group of guys that we have at Metro are, I'd say, the best in the city. So
Yeah.
I'd say we're well prepared. But yeah, you probably never get used to the pain. But once you're in there, you're adrenaline. You're going. You don't even think about it. Now you might feel it afterwards once that adrenaline dumps. But for the most part.
there was this young kid, the first fight that you fought at, or you were supposed to fight it, that you didn't fight in.
Yes, sir.
There was a young man that had a broken bone. It was like 20 years old, real sharp. I mean, he pretty much beat on the other guy real quick. I don't remember his name, but he had a broken bone. Do you recall anybody having a broken bone?
No.
And he was fighting? No? Okay. Kind of interesting. I wish I knew his name, but he was a real young guy. He can't be no more than 21-year-old, maybe even 20-year-old. They're real sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was very, very impressed by him.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if you're that young and you're fighting against men,
Yeah.
and you win,
Yeah.
yeah, you're doing something right.
Yeah.
He's not even old enough to drink. Yeah. So tell us about your second fight.
My second
Was it
fight.
25 seconds or less?
No, I wish it would have been. No, my second fight I won in the second round, 50 seconds into the second round.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a TKO. Ref stoppage.
Okay.
Stopped me.
So you hit him with your foot?
Nah, I took his back and he couldn't escape, so I was just kind of pounding him out, just
Okay.
ground and pound, yeah. And
Okay.
the ref
I can do
stopped
that too. I can last 2 rounds.
Oh yeah. So no, I don't think. Man, I watch a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But
I
you
love
know,
it though. I love it.
but you know what's coming up also is the women's group is actually.
Yeah.
I see
Yeah,
a lot more
definitely.
women fighting.
Yeah.
Actually, you wouldn't last a minute with Ronda.
Yeah, I mean you wouldn't want to mess with those women because some of them are pretty tough. You know.
Yeah.
Does she hold the record for the fastest win?
Yeah, she
Ronda
holds
Rousey?
the record for something. She's killed it.
I think she holds the record for in the women's.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure if there's even a difference as far as I don't believe there's a difference in as far as the fastest knockout. But I think someone else has that, but she's not too far behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it like 10 seconds or something?
Somewhere around there.
Well, the last fight she had with that.
Oh,
Correa.
yeah. With
she-
Correa, that lasted like 20 some seconds. I think it was like 28 seconds.
28 seconds?
Yeah, she's had faster finishes.
People that bought the fight on TV.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, I
it's
was one
like
of 'em,
Mike
yeah.
Tyson all over again.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, do you guys work out as much as I do? I mean, y'all work out 7 days a week. What's your routine like?
Mine now is so I do 2 a days when it's
Every day? 7 days?
No, not 7. So you got me there. I do 5 to 6
Okay.
2 a days, probably 5 2 a days, and then one just simple either hitting mitts or going out for a run or something like that.
Okay.
But consists of in the morning probably strength and conditioning or just light bag work. And then at night we at Metro Monday, Wednesday sparring, and then Tuesday, Thursdays drilling technique, wrestling or jiu-jitsu or making sure our combos are.
Always doing something.
Yeah.
So you have time for family?
Have to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you working also?
Yes, sir.
You working full time?
Yes, sir.
And you're working out before
Yeah.
you go to work.
So two jobs with the fighting.
So what time do you work out?
See, I'm lucky though, cause I work at the gym all day.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
You got it made.
I do.
But you teach, right?
yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, by the way, he teaches at the school I used to teach at, Elson High School. Well, used to.
I used to. Yeah. I'm not there anymore. But
Yeah.
I was
so
there. Yes,
Elson
sir.
High School. That's Manuel Rodriguez alma mater over there.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, do you work like, what, 8 o'clock? What time do you go in?
My day starts 7:15.
So you work out before you go?
Sometimes, usually I'll try to get my run in before I go.
Okay, so
Yes,
you're
sir.
up like at 5 in the morning running.
Yeah. Just run around the neighborhood, get my 2 to 3 miles in around the
That's
neighborhood.
good. That's good.
Can knock that
By
out.
5 o'clock, I'm on my 1,000 sit-up.
Trying to keep it with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
In your dreams? So,
And you yourself, you work at 5? I mean, you.
I
what
get
time do you work
I
out?
get up at 6 to be at the gym at 7. I run a couple of boot camp classes, and then I don't do my first workout until 11, 12.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
that's a little easier than
Yeah,
5 in the
it's
morning.
God bless, man. I've had where I was doing the same thing. I was teaching over at right on North McGregor at Good Hope Academy
Okay.
for a charter school. So yeah, the schedules get pretty hectic.
I bet.
You know.
At least you're off for the summers, right?
Yeah, and that's when you can really get your 2 a days in.
Okay.
Is the summer. And that's what I did this summer.
Okay. Not to mention the holidays, the Christmas 2-week break.
Yeah, teaching.
Thanksgiving break.
It has its perks.
Yeah.
Spring break.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of breaks. He's the former board member for a school district.
Oh, really? Oh, that's awesome.
So he knows about all the breaks. Yeah, actually, he's from Austin, Texas.
Nice.
Yeah.
now, so what's your goal? What are your goals in the sport? To get to
Mine is to get to the UFC. I mean, I know as far as my talent and my ability, I can fight and do well. And then from there, my end all goal is to open up my own MMA school. So right
great.
now, what I'm doing is I run some boot camps. I do personal training, kickboxing one-on-ones. So I'm taking a lot of steps to slowly get there. Me and my partner Jeremy Miller from Work You Out, we just got into the Pasadena ISD to do after school camps. Right now we're just at Adobe, so we work Tuesdays at Adobe. We go to the school and do a after school program workout. So I'm taking a lot of steps to get there, but to make the end all goal to open up the school, I got to keep winning fights and eventually get to.
I have my little cousin. He's 9 years old. He's in MMA. He works out wrestling actually in Atascocita. Yeah, they have a program for kids.
Yeah.
He's been in for 2 years now.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, he can probably take you already.
Yeah. But they try to get him into other sports, and he just doesn't
Loves it.
gravitate to those sports. You know, he'd rather be in the gym wrestling.
Yeah.
That wrestling builds
And-
you up.
And
right
how long
there.
do you
That's
think
hard
it'll
nose.
take you to get to where you want to go?
For me, I'm saying the end of next year. I say the end of next year because I'm at a point now where it's becoming a bit harder to find fights and get guys to accept fights. So the higher talent I'll be fighting and God willing winning. It's just a matter of time. Like Jason was saying, the biggest organization to move up is Legacy Fighting Championships. So you get wins in there and you show, because big eyes are watching that promotion. So I get in there and
White's watching you.
yeah,
Yes.
and string together some wins. I say by the end of next year.
Now, one thing that I guess this is common for boxers and for you all is you get those little scabs on your ears.
Cauliflower ear.
Cauliflowers.
Cauliflower ear.
Yeah.
No, you guys don't have them yet.
No,
Mine's
little.
small.
Yeah, it's a little.
Is there
Yeah.
any way you can keep from it? No? I guess not.
Not too much.
Uh,
Not too much.
You can't wear any protection on your ear.
Yeah, you could, but it gets annoying for your training
Yeah.
partner. Yeah.
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 You just avoid that getting hit there or that pressure, any type of irritation there.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, some of those guys look pretty bad. They need some plastic surgery, and there's no
Yeah.
way to get rid of them.
No.
Once they're there, they're there.
Yeah,
That
You
cartilage,
can drain it,
Yeah.
but
that
yeah.
cartilage looks terrible.
yeah,
Yeah, just imagine your nose was like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, we're trying to avoid
Cauliflower nose.
trying to avoid that.
Sometimes some guys get them that way.
Yeah.
yeah.
And what other kind of stuff, injuries that you pretty much get all the time that are kind of, they're always going to be there? Nothing on your chins or?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That was the only thing I can think
Main
of.
thing
Probably
from
shins.
kicking,
Yeah,
kicking, and
your
then
chins.
you might bruise your hands up pretty good. Like this, my right hand is still hurt from my last fight.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So,
Now,
Beating them up too hard, huh?
Are they ever going to get to where they close the gloves? Because there's a lot of grabbing right now.
Yeah. I don't
it's,
think so.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to try and do that. Yeah, with the grappling side of things.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but do those gloves really have any pad on them, or they're just there to protect the?
They're like they would be like 8-ounce boxing
Yeah,
gloves, right?
No, they're 4 ounce.
4
ounces.
Ooh,
so it's really
Yeah, it's
like
not.
hitting with your hand.
Yeah.
yeah, just
that hurts.
It's just enough to not break your hand.
And do you feel like your knuckles are a lot stronger now that you've been working out?
With
as far as like hitting.
Yeah, I mean, do you feel like you can handle more pressure and more pounding?
Well, you hit the heavy bag a lot.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So you could build it up like that, and work, same as with your shins, working your kicks on the heavy bag.
That really hurts when you get hit there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because when I think of a punching bag, I think of Rocky hitting those whatever they were, or the little pigs.
Oh, those,
The meat freezer.
the meat freezer,
Yeah. No, we're not doing any of
hitting
that.
the ribs and those.
The only thing I
Hanging-
do with those things is eat them.
Eat 'em.
I don't punch 'em.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You know, I admire you guys. The discipline,
Thank you.
mentally, physically, and working and family. You really admire you.
Yes, sir.
And by the way, he had a little baby just recently, about what, 2 years ago?
She's 14 months now.
14 months ago.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So he has a 7, 8-year-old.
7. She just
And a baby.
turned. Yeah, Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah, she just turned
And
7.
you have kids?
Do not have kids. I recently just got married, so we're trying.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, we're trying.
And by the way, his daughter is also training. I don't know what she trains for, but is she a fighter of? She's a.
No, she'd come like and just train with me at the gym and stuff like that. Yeah. So she'll do jiu-jitsu at the gym, and she'll also do her kickboxing there as well. And then we'll practice at home and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so she's following in her dad's footsteps. She's gonna be a fighter.
I don't know. I don't know if mom's gonna like that.
Yeah, so I can just see her right now, MMA fighter in about 10 years from now.
We'll
And
go
she's
for
very
it.
tall, by the way, for her age.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, she's
How
probably
tall are you?
6'4".
Yeah, I figured.
6'4". That's it.
You're about 5'10",
I'm reverse of that. No, I'm just, I'm 5'7".
5'7".
Yeah.
And so, what weight do you normally fight at?
45.
And you yourself?
My last fight was at 160, so I'm majority of my fights have been at 170, but I'm trying to work my way down to 155.
What are you, about 200?
Yeah.
I weigh more than they do together.
I'm at 220. 220. I need to be about 180. That's my ideal weight, but
Yeah.
I've gained a lot of weight.
This the
There
guy
you
right
go.
here.
I got
This the
you.
guy right here.
I got
Gained a
you.
lot of weight. I actually started working out, believe it or not, trying to lose weight. I'm training for the marathon.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember you did that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's hard to keep this up, you know?
Yes. You're talented. Yeah, so let's talk about losing weight, because you guys go through this fasting for like a day to try to lose weight. I mean, how tough is that to go from, let's just say, 185 to 180 in one day?
From
That-
185?
That's the easy.
Yeah, that's easy.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that would be
10
easy.
pounds, 10 pounds is a lot harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
what's involved in that? What do you do to lose weight to make that weight the next day?
Man.
Sweat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're in a spa, or what do you do? You're doing what to lose that
For
weight?
me, it's a bunch of layers, sauna suit, and a mixture between treadmill work and going into the sauna. Pretty much.
And so
back
no water?
forth.
Or very
Yeah,
little
no
water?
Yeah, wake up that morning, I probably have a cup of water about as small as that, and from there, it's nothing.
No water for a whole day.
Yeah, pretty much until weigh-ins. What's good though is that out here, weigh-ins are at 2 or 4 o'clock, so it gives you, for me anyway, it gives you enough time to eat, eat 3 or 4 times and really, gain all that energy and that weight back. Whereas in some places, like in North Dakota, our weigh-ins were at 7 o'clock, and you really don't get started until 8, 8:30. So now you're trying to gain all that weight back, but you gotta get rest too. So out here it's ran, a lot more efficiently with having weigh-ins at 2 or 4 p.m. So you wake up, you get your weight out the way, and then you go on about your day like normal.
Can you imagine losing 10 pounds in one day? That's a lot of weight, guys.
I wish I could do it.
10 pounds. I mean, you figured it's mostly water, right? I mean, yeah, you're working out a little bit, treadmill, you said.
Yeah.
So you're perspiring, you're trying to lose that weight that way. And not to mention that you're throughout the day, you're not intaking any food, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
With
Yeah,
my weight,
that day you're
I'd
not
have to
eating.
fight Cain Velasquez or somebody like that.
Yeah, that'd be you right there. That'd be your weight class.
Kane,
Yeah, those are
Velasquez.
some big boys.
Yes, it's terrible.
what is he, about 6'5", 6'6"?
No, he's not that
Like
hard.
6'1".
6'1"?
Yeah.
He's just a big boy.
Yeah, he's not. I mean, I think he walks around like he fights at like 225, 230.
Yeah,
He fights bigger guys.
just me. I mean,
Big boy.
Yeah.
former wrestler, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So I imagine you have a lot of wrestlers that converted, right?
Yeah.
A lot of athletes, football players, baseball
Yes, sir.
players, et
Yeah.
cetera, et cetera.
It's pretty much
You name it.
everybody now. It's the new thing, But like we were saying earlier, you really never know until you get in there and start getting punched. If you can hang with it.
Yeah, my intentions.
Don't
like,
recommend it. I don't recommend
My intention starting off wasn't to fight. It was just okay. I'm not playing basketball anymore. Like, just that competitive. I still want to compete.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, I just see how it goes, and I'll do some jiu-jitsu. But it was like after those first couple weeks, I was just kind of hooked and stuck with it. But yeah, I definitely have to get used to getting punched. That was
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the tough part. getting used to getting hit?
I never did. I'm still not used to it.
I'd be doing this number. Don't hit my ears.
Protect your ears and a lot of other parts too.
Yes, sir. Yep.
So I guess in the next couple of years, we're not gonna be able to talk to you. You're gonna be so famous. You're gonna be fighting in Vegas, huh?
Yeah, but get this, we'll be able to say, yeah, I know those guys.
Yes,
Sir.
Well, way back in the day when they knew me. Now they don't know me.
It looks like these guys are so well grounded that they'll know you.
Yeah.
Even
Oh,
years
yeah.
Even years from now. Yeah. So if you were to actually take a professional tour, you wouldn't be living in Houston no more. You'd probably be living in a hotel somewhere, going place to place,
To
living your dream, right?
get out and train.
Well, you'll be either in training or at a fight somewhere.
As far as what you're saying,
But they would be based here. I think.
Yeah. It would still be here. Like you could do like cross training. Like I went up to Denver this summer, and I was out there for like almost. I was out there for about a week and got some extra training out there and training the high altitude and stuff like that. So
Was it good for you?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
Learned a
Denver or Colorado Springs?
In Denver.
Denver, okay.
Yes, sir.
I'll tell you what, our good friend, I don't know if you know them, the Lopez brothers, karate champions, the USA Taekwondo champs.
Oh, okay.
Gene is the brother, he's the coach, and then he has 3 siblings, Diana and Steve and
They're from here?
yeah, and Mark. Then all of them have won medals in the Olympics.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're from Sugar Land.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say that from out
Yeah.
here. Okay.
Yeah, but they're constantly traveling all over the world. Since Gene is the coach of the USA Taekwondo team, he gets asked to go coach all over the world. He was just in
okay.
Russia just last week. But his children, which is the second generation of Lopez's, they're already champions in their weight division. They're for the youth. I forget what it's called, but so you have 2 generations of Lopez.
Yeah.
You might want to look them up.
Yeah.
They're from Sugar Land. They were just here interviewing the other day. But they are a success story from Nicaragua. They came here and their dad put all the money into training. And so they got enough money to send their kids to Japan to training, and that's how they really got started.
Oh, wow.
Wasn't that interesting? I knew the names of the fighters, but I didn't know the name of the mayor. I hope the mayor didn't hear me.
You don't even know the mayor. That's not good, man.
I know his name. I know. It's just
Former elected official, and he doesn't even know the mayor of Austin, Texas.
maybe he just won not too long ago. He's a good guy.
Well, unfortunately, we've run out of time. I want to appreciate you all for coming out. Next time you all come on the show, I want to hear about your successes in the ring. Probably in about a year from now, I want to hear that you won at least 3 or 4 more matches.
Yeah, definitely.
And we're going to be back next Monday at 6 p.m. It's live television. And hopefully you will join us. This is a great night. Join us tonight for the U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce event with the MAC. Sam is inviting you to what's it called again?
It's a reception of the Texas Coalition of Chambers.
Texas Coalition of Chambers. It's at 1100 Caroline. So we'll see you there. Bye.
Thank you.